And I always had this conception that if you were going to do anything, if you were going to change the world in any way, it was going to have to come from within. And I believe at certain moments in history, you know, certain people are supposed to rise up and are appointed to rise up to help bring along a transition. Well, the world's in a crisis right now. It's like the old world is dying, but the new world hasn't been born yet. And right there, that's where you have the tension coming at. So then it's making us feel like we're experiencing a world that's dark and that's dangerous and disagreeable.
The search for greatness became their motivation.
That people are born, they have in their DNA not only the color of their eyes, how tall they're going to be, but their purpose. And when someone comes in contact with something like a compass, their DNA explodes and it sends them down the path of their destiny.
And see, I picked up on his spirit. See, they don't tell you that the most powerful thing that a human being has is spirit. That's your character. So spirit knows spirit.
A spirit about them, such a force. They were going to make this happen, you know?
Everyone knew that our talent was going to be undeniable. Now it's about legacy. Now, since I know that the realities hit me, I know that I'm not going to live forever. Now I have to do something that's heroic. I have to leave a mark. I have to leave a legacy. After a while, you know, of investing and working on the dollars and the cents and the numbers, it started off as a small whisper, you know. Do you see yourself doing this forever? How do you impact the world by investing in homes? How much money can you accumulate, you know, before it doesn't mean anything? And eventually that whisper became bigger and bigger until it became somewhat of a roar.
So why are we here trying to update the TMR documentary?
That veil had been lifted and I could see life for what it really was, what it was really meant to be. And it was so liberating.
I know now that there is something bigger than all of us, driving us to create a better path for humanity.
Not only would Morgan fill the screenplay, but he'd also fill your personal story. So Ron advised me not to stop until I got a face-to-face with Morgan. Thus began the journey to, you know, get Morgan, you know, aboard on this project.
So we knew we had to somehow make that happen.
So we sent the screenplay to Fred to see if we would get any traction to Morgan. The script got thrown right in the trash. We even hired a lawyer, a big-name lawyer in Hollywood. He wrote a letter of introduction, told Fred that we had $1 million in an escrow account. And when it was sent, it got thrown straight into the trash. Without even being opened, it got thrown straight into the garbage can. So we were like, okay, we're gonna have to come up with game plan 2.
Making the Murder Roulette documentary was an exhilarating journey. By the end of it, I thought we had a unique and intimate look into the spirit of a family that seemed to be destined for greater things.
After we completed the documentary, we had a 45-minute story that I think impacted a lot of people. Not only was it it told our personal story, but it told an inspirational story. You know, it told a story of hope. And I noticed that people not only resonated to the story because it was our story, but they resonated with the story because they saw their story.
I wasn't used to being on camera or having cameras around the house or even being a subject of a documentary. But in the end, when I saw how impactful it was really rewarding to see how people really resonated with our personal story.
So we started sending a documentary out. And what went from a small, intimate project started growing into a movement. And the more and more people that saw it, the more this thing started snowballing into something really, really powerful.
Touched and inspired by the Yorks story, Bill Luckett made sure that he got the documentary into Morgan's hands and encouraged him to watch it.
Morgan saw some of the material and he called Fred, his agent Fred, right on the spot was like, what do you know about the murder roulette?
But going through the back door of Hollywood through an A-list actor's best friend had its own unique set of consequences.
You have somebody like who's working on the biggest budget motion pictures in Hollywood. They're calling us in, North Carolina.
It was really astonishing because we came out of nowhere and we presented our project to an A-list actor. He took it to his agent, which is one of the most respected agents in Hollywood, and they were giving us an opportunity. I mean, how often does that happen?